Good morning. We're going to have an update from Chief Mina, from Sheriff Demings, from Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, Orange County Mayor Teresa Jacobs, and Governor Rick Scott, and we'll take limited Q&A at the end.
Good morning. I regret to inform our community that one of our heroes in blue was shot and killed in the line of duty this morning. It is with a very heavy heart on Law Enforcement Appreciation Day that I announce that Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton, a 17-year veteran of the Orlando Police Department, lost her life today at approximately 0740 hours, 7:40 a.m. Here's some of the details of the case. About 7:17 a.m., she checked out, attempted to contact a murder suspect at the Walmart, Princeton and John Young. 2 minutes later, we received calls that an officer had been shot, and immediately emergency assistance went out and officers responded. A suspect was spotted by a deputy sheriff, Captain Carter, leaving the scene. He fired at the deputy near the area of North Lane and Pine Hills Road, striking his unmarked vehicle. The deputy was not hurt. The suspect then carjacked the vehicle, fled, and later abandoned the vehicle near Rosemont and Cinder Lane Parkway. There is a manhunt currently underway for Markeith Lloyd. And Markeith Lloyd is a suspect that this community is familiar with, and he should be considered armed and dangerous. He is a suspect in the murder of a pregnant woman in the jurisdiction of Orange County Sheriff's Office. While en route, one of our motor officers, Officer Robert Castro, was injured, not related to the shooting, but he was responding. He will be okay. He has minor injuries. We have a lot of police resources trying to catch the suspect. Local, state, and federal authorities are all working together diligently to bring him to justice, and he will be brought to justice. I can assure the community that. I've spoken at length with Deborah's family. At the Orlando Police Department, we're a huge family. We really are. And, you know, I always tell our officers that your families are our families. So we are giving everything her husband needs. She's married, and she also has 2 children. And we're going to be assisting them through this very, very difficult time, and also providing resources for our officers during such a hard time. I've personally known Deborah for 17 years and have worked with her in different assignments. She was extremely committed to our youth and really the community. And she did so many different projects in the community. She organized several marches against violence by herself. That's how committed she is. Deborah Clayton is a hero, and she gave her life protecting the community that she loves. She will be deeply missed. I'm going to stick around for questions afterwards. Right now I'm going to turn it over to the sheriff.
Let me begin by first offering my condolences to the family of Master Sergeant Clayton. She's someone that I know very well. In fact, I hired her when I was the Orlando Police Chief to be a member of the Orlando Police Department. And at one point, we attended the same church. And so my heart certainly goes out to her family as well as the entire Orlando Police Department and the city of Orlando as we deal with those circumstances. Chief Mina has provided a very quick summary of what brought us here today. I will reiterate some of the facts that the chief reviewed. The Orange County Sheriff's Office responded to this incident after an emergency call for assistance went out from their agency. We had numerous members of my agency respond to this incident that started for us at about 7:19 this morning after a suspect description was put out. Um, Based on the vehicle description, one of my captains from the agency was responding into the area, observed a vehicle matching the description, traveling at somewhat of a high rate of speed. The captain did a U-turn, and the individual fled from the captain, also fired at least one shot at the captain, which is why we now also have charges pending for the subject for attempted murder of a law enforcement officer from that scenario. As we kind of move forward today, the chief indicated that we have a significant manhunt underway in the broader Pine Hills area. I'm going to ask the citizens and the other members of the public who are in that area to understand that there's lots of law enforcement officers there. Allow us some space to be able to do our jobs safely and to bring this individual into custody. I say that because this morning we've had several other law enforcement officers who have been injured as they have been pursuing this individual. Sadly, I have to share with you this morning that in my nearly 36-year career, this is probably one of the toughest days for me in my career. Because not only did we lose an Orlando police officer today, we lost an Orange County deputy sheriff as well, who was traveling on his motorcycle. As a result of these broad efforts that we have underway, a motorist turned in front of him based on eyewitness testimony. He had a green light. He was not traveling at any inordinate rate of speed. He was transported here to Orlando Regional as a trauma alert. And I have to say to the physicians here, we appreciate their efforts because I saw the sense of urgency with them, and I know that they gave everything that they could to try to save the life of one of my deputy sheriffs who unfortunately did not survive his injuries. I'm not going to identify that deputy sheriff at this time because he's a single deputy sheriff without family here in the area. Family is in another location, and we're working with the authorities there to make the announcement and make contact with his family. So we will not release his information until after that has taken place. And so for all of the Metro Orlando area, for Floridians, for people in this nation today, to lose two law enforcement officers during this Law Enforcement Officer Appreciation Day is indeed a tragedy. Again, I reiterate that we still have work to do to try to locate the subject that is responsible for this incident. That subject has been identified as Markeith Lloyd Sr., date of birth October the 8th, 1975. Those of you here in the media, you have been provided previously to this day with his photographs. We have been looking for, actively and very aggressively looking for Markeith Lloyd for the last couple of weeks and have not been able to locate him. That indicates to me that he's receiving help from someone, and we're calling upon sensible individuals to help us bring him to justice on this day. We have numerous charges at this point that are pending. On behalf of the 2,500 men and women of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, we're sad on this day for many reasons. We still have to work, and I know in looking in the eyes of my staff, they are 100% committed to continuing to do their jobs to keep this community safe. God bless you all.
This is indeed a very sad day in the city of Orlando, and we're deeply saddened by the loss of Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton. She's a very brave 17-year member of the Orlando Police Department, and her loss will be felt throughout the department and, quite honestly, throughout our entire city. But more importantly, she will be missed as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, and a sister. I share my condolences and prayers with her family, and I know that our entire city and our entire community will support the family in any way that we can. Her death and the injuries, the death of the deputy sheriff and the injuries to Officer Castro and the other deputy sheriff is a reminder that our law enforcement officers put their lives on the line every single day to protect all of us. So to the men and women of the OPD and the Orange County Sheriff's Office, I and the entire City Council stand with you and are here to support you during this difficult time. I'm declaring today an official day of mourning in the city of Orlando. To that end, today's City Council meeting has been canceled. As in the past, I'd like to call on our entire community to stand united in support of all of the families of both the deceased and the injured. But as the sheriff and the chief have done, I'm also calling on our community to provide any information that will lead to the capture of this violent criminal. Mayor Jacobs.
I, too, would like to express my condolences to the families of our lost law enforcement officers. It's ironic that today would be Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, but it also is a reminder to each and every one of us how much our security, our freedoms, our safety in our community depends upon the good men and women that go to work every day knowing they may not come home. I would ask that as citizens of Orange County, that you realize that you too have a role and responsibility. I appreciate the responsibility that our local media plays every time we have a situation like this. You are the best avenue that we have to communicate to our citizens what we need from them. Today, we need our citizens to be vigilant. We need our citizens to be careful. You've heard it said over and over again. The man we're looking for is very dangerous. And if you are in or around an area that you're hearing about, Pine Hills being one of those areas today, our schools are under lockdown. If you don't have to be out, don't be out. Take care of your families first. But if you know something, if you've seen something, we urge you to make that phone call and help us, help our law enforcement officers do their job helping you. We are all in this together. We are a strong community. We have demonstrated that time and time again, and we will demonstrate that this time. We will find this killer. We will bring him to justice. We will make sure that the lives that we lost were not lost in vain. But we will only do it with the help of a good, strong, law-abiding community. So for each and every one of you that are here with us, in this with us as citizens of Orange County, God bless you. Thank you. You do your job. Our law enforcement officers will continue to do their job. And now it is my pleasure and honor to introduce our governor, Governor Scott, who unfortunately is back to join us together again in a tragic day. Governor, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. I'm heartbroken and angered to hear the shooting of an Orlando Police Department officer. My wife and I join Floridians across the state in praying for this officer and the deputy sheriff and each of their families during this unimaginable time. I ask that God provide them with much-needed healing, comfort, and hope. Any act of violence against these heroes is cowardly and shameful that our state will not stand for. I was already on my way to Orlando for a different event when I heard about what happened. I have stayed in contact with the chief, the sheriff, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, both Mayor Jacobs and Dyer, to let them know the state stands ready to do anything we can to be helpful. I know the entire police department for the city and the county is working diligently to bring justice and ensure the community is safe and secure. Unfortunately, over the past year, officers all across our state have faced challenges like never before. But even after the terrorist attack at Pulse nightclub last summer and the attack at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport last week, our law enforcement officers still wake up each and every day and choose to put their lives on the line in order to protect each of us. I had the honor of visiting the Orlando Police Department last week to meet these officers firsthand, to thank them on behalf of all Floridians. It breaks my heart that one of them has already been senselessly killed this morning. I proclaim this week as First Responder Appreciation Week, and on the first day of it today, this tragic shooting serves as a sobering reminder of how important it is for each of us to take every opportunity to thank every law enforcement officer across the state, because they're putting their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. Mis oraciones están con las agencias de la policía en esta comunidad y con las familias. Como gobernador, lo más importante es la seguridad de todos en nuestro estado, incluyendo a nuestros policías que trabajan tan duro para proteger nuestras comunidades. El estado de la Florida va a seguir apoyando a los policías.
We'll take some questions now. It's very early in the investigation. The preliminary information is that she either recognized him or was notified of his presence and then went to contact him. She was alone. Well, certainly that purchase of that body armor was for shortly after the officers being killed in Baton Rouge and Dallas. We wanted to give our officers additional protection beyond the body armor that they wear every day. So in the event they went to a call involving a rifle, something that could penetrate the vest they wear every day, we ordered armor plate carriers that they could throw on top of the vest they already wear to respond to those incidents, as well as Kevlar helmets. There are hundreds of officers and deputies working. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is working with us. The FBI is working with us, as well as some other federal agencies to locate him. We believe we had him narrowed down to a certain area. That's unclear at this point, but we are still continuing our efforts, and there'll be a large law enforcement presence in that area until we can determine that he is not there. Certainly, she approached him at some point, and we know that he opened fire on her, killing her. Officers responded quickly within minutes, began performing CPR, and she was transported to the hospital and pronounced dead. Multiple shots were fired. I can't give the exact number right now. She was hit multiple times. We're still in the preliminary parts of the investigation, but I don't believe so.
Yeah, Orange County deputy lost his life today. Was he working in support of this manhunt, or was he just completely separate and horrible?
He was working in concert with the manhunt itself, attending to various duties, and at the time was doing his job. Very well known, very well liked amongst his colleagues at the sheriff's office. Gentle giant, big man, tall guy, and he's certainly going to be missed. And here shortly we will, once we make the notification of his surviving family members, we will notify the public as well.
When was the last time one of the officer, Orange County Sheriff officer, was on the line of duty?
The last one for us was Officer Art Gordon. It was probably 10 years ago. I believe it was Chief Mike McCoy was the chief at the time.
The last time for the Orange County Sheriff's Office was February of 2014, Deputy Scott Pine. What I would tell you is that the community is safe. In the area in question where we are focusing our manhunt, we just need an abundance of space there. It would be prudent for citizens not to be in that area because of everything that is going on. But generally, this is a safe community, and so I'm not saying to the community to stop doing what they would normally do, but by the same token, I do want our entire community, we ask for their condolences and to recognize that today is different. Because of the fact that we have now lost two public servants, two first responders in the line of duty.
And I would just add that although we think we can catch him and we will catch him, we appreciate the public's help in making that happen. There's going to be someone who knows where he is. We know that. And if that person is helping him, they will be charged as well. So we need people to call us and let us know where he is so he can be brought to justice. Well, it's the final straw, but I will tell you that we're going to bring this dirtbag to justice, and he's going to jail. And our officers and deputies have been working hard in that area, made many, many arrests, take many, many guns off the street, and I believe making a difference, making a huge impact in the arrests and the people that have been put in jail in that area. But yeah, I mean, it's time for the violence to end. And it's important to note that the people who are committing crimes in that area or in the city of Arlington, that is a small percentage. Most of the people in the Pine Hills, Rosemont area are good people, law-abiding citizens, and there are a few people that honestly need to spend the rest of their lives behind prison, and Markeith Lloyd is one of those people who needs to go to jail now.